Hello and welcome to Froch on Fighting. My name is Carl Froch, aka the Cobra, former unified champ, Hall of Famer, you know, the jazz. This episode is brought to you by Cobra Casino. So Fabio Wardley and Joseph Parker have just been involved in one hell of a fight. I mean, I've not seen an exciting heavyweight fight like that since what? Maybe Usyk Fury, the first one, but forget them. Joseph Parker came and he used his experience and he was confident and he was full of belief, thinking he was going to go in there and get the job done. And round one, he looked like the more solid, rounded, experienced, seasoned professional, didn't he? He won the first round behind the jab. He landed a couple of little right hands. He looked like he was dominating. He was on his front foot. And Fabio Wardley was trying his right hand missing, trying his little feints, and Parker wasn't buying them. But round two and round three, he found his feet straight away, Fabio Wardley. Fair play to him. Give him all the credit because he got into the fight. On my card, he won round 2 and 3. Parker got back into it in 4. I think in round 2, he actually clipped Parker on the chin and then drew a bit of respect out of him. I think Parker went back to his corner and thought, ouch, that hurt. There's that power that everyone's been talking about, that Fabio Wardley knockout power. He got caught early and he had to respect then the power that Fabio Wardley was throwing at him. But there was much of the same after round 4, because round 4, I give it to Parker. Round 5, 6, 7, I think Parker, on my card, up until the 10th round, was ahead. I think he was 6-4 going into the 11th, but the 11th we'll get to in a minute. But round 10, Fabio Wardley landed a big shot on Parker, caught him, hurt him, and he was kind of saved by the bell, wasn't he? The bell went, and he got ushered back to his corner by the referee and sat down on that stool, and he must have thought to himself, bloody hell, I'm in a fight here. Round 10, he's sitting down on his stool. On my card, he's 6-4 ahead, but he's sitting down quite badly hurt. And how fit is Fabio Wardley, by the way? He put some work in there, took some shots, and he threw a hell of a lot of shots when he was trying to get that finish towards the end. But let's zoom into round 11, when Parker would have come out 6-4 ahead, just had a bad shot on the chin. He was feeling it. We're in round 11. And Fabio Wardley knows it can hurt Parker. Parker's probably feeling a little bit sorry for himself, thinking, bloody hell, I thought I was going to get him out of here by now. Thought I'd be well ahead on the scorecards. I mean, it was 6-4 on my card, but it could have been closer. That's just how I scored it. But you don't know what the judges are seeing, do you? And Fabio Wardley was in the fight, believe it or not. I mean, I'm saying believe it or not because I actually picked Parker to do the business because he's full of the experience, but never ever write off a guy that can punch like Fabio Wardley can. And by the way, can I just add, which I've not already said, he might have Usyk next. I mean, we'll get into it, but bloody hell, what's he doing getting in the ring with Alexander Usyk? How is that possible for a white-collar fighter? Listen, I digress. Let's go into round 11. Fabio Wardley comes out. I don't know what happened early doors, but he put it on Parker, and he just didn't let off. As soon as he caught him and he clipped him and he had him hurt, that was it. He just didn't let go. And I talked about his fitness earlier. He's just super fit. A big lad like that, able to wing away. A lot of stuff was wasted. He was smothering his work a little bit, but he was getting through and he was catching Parker. He was catching him. He was wobbling him back. The crowd was on the feet screaming. The referee, Howard Foster, one of the best referees in the business, even though he's getting some stick now, he was looking closely at Parker's eyes. And Wardley's assault was ferocious. It was aggressive. And I'm only going to say 1 or 2 shots were getting through clean because there was a lot of shots missing. There was a lot of smothering his own work. Parker, for me, should have probably grabbed hold of in survival mode and just got hold of him, or maybe even when he got caught, take a knee. But he didn't get caught with anything that bad when the assault was coming because it was messy from Fabio Wardley. But we all saw it. There's been a lot of complaints, a lot of moaning. Parker's been magnanimous in defeat. He's not complained once. But the stoppage by Howard Foster, the general consensus is it was stopped too early. One of my friends phoned me up straight away and said, what was that? What a load of crap. That shouldn't have been stopped. That's out of order. And I was like, listen, Howard Foster's the best guy in the business. He's an A-star referee. He knows the game. He's in close. He's looking at Parker's eyes. And if he doesn't see anything coming back, then he's going to stop the fight. For me, I'd have liked to see the fight go on. Parker was 6-4 ahead on my card going into the 11th. It was a close fight. He wasn't getting caught with anything clean. He wasn't getting pummeled from left to right. His head wasn't flapping around. He hadn't been down. He wasn't hurt. He was hurt before that in the round. But come on, these are big, strong lads, fit and strong lads. And we want to see a conclusive finish. We want to see a finish that there's no arguments for. That's what boxing's all about. We want to know there's a genuine, clear, concise winner. Like me when I chin Groves at Wembley in front of all them people.
Digs in deep, sucks it up, and gets it!
There's no arguments. And was in round 11. There was only one more round to go. So let's see the finish. Listen, I'm not going to have a go at Howard Foster, but the fight for me could have gone on. I think it should have gone on. And a lot of people, I think, are agreeing with me because what I'm listening to online and from what I'm hearing straight after the fight with the pundits and analysts, I mean, no one really wanted to give the official too much stick, but the general consensus is that the fight was stopped too early, and I felt it was. But regardless of that, I mean, who knows? Parker wasn't throwing much back. He should have either grabbed on, took a knee, or at least threw a bit more back. He was sitting back with his guard up, taking punches. It looked messy. It looked like he was under attack. And he was hurt the round before. So there was one more round left. The fight should go on. Let's have the fight brought to the end. Let's hear the final bell if it gets that far. And then let it go to points. Or let's see a knockout. Because the way that was stopped for me, it was just a little bit too early. And it left me wanting more, which is always a shame in a fight like this. Right, before we continue, I want to give a shout out to my friends over at Huel. As you know, the Cobra always keeps himself in shape. World champion or not, fitness is a lifestyle. But let me tell you, it's not always easy keeping on top of meals, especially when you're on the road, busy, or just can't be bothered to cook. That's where Huel Black Edition comes in. This stuff's proper good and affordable. One bag of Black Edition powder has 70 meals at just £1.79 a meal. High protein, low carbohydrates, and packed with all the vitamins and minerals that your body needs. And it tastes spot on. My favourite flavour is Winner Vanilla, and I have one in the morning or one straight after I've trained. So if you're like me and you want to stay lean, stay sharp and fuel your body properly, give it a go. Use my unique code FROCH10 to get £10 off your first order today. That's Froch10 for £10 off with a minimum order of £60. Get on it, use Huel and fuel like a champ. The Cobra approves. Right, back to today's episode. Well, listen, I think I've made clear what I thought. I thought it was stopped a little bit too early. I've only watched it once and I've saved myself for the replay. I've come down, I've set up. There's a problem with the mics. That's why I've got this thing hanging out my ear hole because my mic's not working, but I need to get this out. I'm just going to watch the replay of the stoppage now. And I'll tell you what I think, honestly and straight up on this replay. This is the stoppage. Let me hit it. Let's have a look. So Parker's on the ropes, tucking up. Little uppercut slip through. Right hand misses. There's another 2-3 shots there. They've come together. A bit scrappy. Right hand lands there. Fabio's absolutely exhausted. Parker's still tucking up. 2 shots. 3 shots there. See, the problem there is a right hand, then a left hook, then a right hand. And all 3 shots really missed when Fabio Wardley was putting it on him. And Fabio had almost punched himself out. He was knackered. Absolutely knackered. He pushes Parker. Well, Parker leans back on the ropes, guard up, tight. 2-3 big wings from Fabio. They look like little impressively wings. Like if you're the referee stood this side, you're watching them thinking, oh, they're big, heavy, dangerous shots. But if you look, they don't land clean, do they? There's nothing lands. There's a right hand that lands. I'm still watching it again. Big uppercut miss. Left hook scraped his gloves. Right hand misses. And the ref jumps in. Too early. He was tired. He may have just robbed Fabio Wardley there of a great stoppage, which is what I was saying with me and Groves. It was stopped a bit too early. If the fight was going to carry on, I would have got the conclusive finish. Fabio Wardley may have just got the finish. There was another minute left on the score on the clock, and he would have had time, but he punched himself out. He was coming back into it, wasn't he? I don't know. Listen, Parker should have been given a chance there. He was ahead on the scorecards. The winner gets a shot at Usyk, the undisputed, and we're in round 11. Don't stop the fight there. Let the fight carry on. From what I'm seeing here, the fight should have gone on. But I'm not going to go mental at Howard Foster because he's my guy. So, listen, forget what I think. Forget what everybody else thinks. The fighters themselves, I mean, there was no real complaints. Joseph Parker, he was so classy and so magnanimous in defeat. He just said, look, I got beat by the better man on the night. It was fair. He beat me. I got stopped. He didn't complain, and that's what makes people love Joseph Parker so much because he's so classy. I mean, he really was. But he could have complained really. He could have said, "Listen, I was all right. There was only another 4 minutes left. There was 1 minute left in that round, and then the final 3 minutes in round 12." And I'm sure he would have stayed in there for round 12. But we'll never know now. We'll be frustrated. I mean. That fight for me screams a rematch if the Usyk fights don't happen. But anyway, Fabio Wardley actually said himself that, and he was being classy as well. He wasn't gloating or anything, but he said the fight could have been stopped earlier. And as a fighter, when you're landing shots, putting shots together, and you're connecting with a few shots, and you look like you've got your opponent hurt, you do want the referee to stop the fight. You want the referee to jump in. You think to yourself, come on then, stop the fight. I want to go home now. I want a pint of Guinness. I've won this fight. Let's get it stopped. But unfortunately, it doesn't happen like that. There's many a times when I've been punching the head off some opponent in front of me, whether it's British, European level or world level, and the referee's having a close look, but he's not going to stop the fight because you've got to make it conclusive. You've got to finish that job. And some of the older refereeing and the old school referees let the fights go on. And you'd be amazed how other fighters that look like they're finished turn it around. And was we going to see that here? I don't know. Maybe Parker would have won it on points because he was ahead 6-4 on my card. Maybe Wardley would have knocked him out. So the ref could have robbed Wardley of a good knockout. He could have robbed Parker of a points victory and the opportunity to then fight for the undisputed. But we'll never know. We've got what we've got. Both guys were very classy. Like I said, Wardley thought it could have been stopped. I disagree. Parker was fine, but most of the boxing pundits and analysts, there's a lot of people on Twitter. I mean, I'm not going to mention any names, but there's some really respected boxing analysts and pundits that say that this was an horrendous stoppage because it was too early. And you can see that, you can buy into that because it was early. I think Parker's ahead by 6-4 on my card and probably on the judges' card because I know what I'm doing. Carl Frampton had it 6-4 as well, and he knows the game. And it was round 11. He was having a bad spot. There was a minute left to survive. See if he can hang on. See if he can survive. See if he goes down, give him a 10-8 round, then Wardley might win on point. Let him see the final bell. Let him go into round 12. I think I'm repeating myself now. But anyway, I think the fight was stopped early. The general consensus is a lot of top analysts and respected boxing pundits think it was stopped too early. So we're just going to have to say, look, Fabio Wardley now has won the fight fair and square because that's the decision. That's the referee's final decision. Wardley wins the fight. He's now mandatory for Alexander Usyk. What is he going to do against Alexander Usyk? Where do we go from here? Alexander Usyk, the undisputed heavyweight king, the guy that's knocked 10 bells out of Fury, not once but twice. AJ, twice, battered him. Dubois beat him up twice as well. That's the 3 best heavyweights in our country. All been finished off 2 times each. I mean, what can Fabio Wardley possibly do against Alexander Usyk? Nothing would be my answer. But you've got to look at it for what it is. Usyk's getting old. Fabio Wardley can punch really, really hard, as we've seen. He gets himself out of the shit loads of times. He struggled in his last fight, didn't he? And he was losing everything, and he pulled the knockout out of the bag. So this guy can make things happen. He can make miracles happen in that ring. And imagine if he goes in against Usyk. Usyk's a little bit old, not been in the ring for a while, not quite feeling it. And Fabio Wardley starts connecting with that unorthodox, awkward right hand he throws because he's very novice because he's from the white collar. I mean, this has just got like some kind of Hollywood story script written all over it because if Fabio Wardley can actually do the unthinkable, get in there with Usyk and pull off the win, that would be outrageous. So let me know what you think in the comments. Does he deserve to be in there with Usyk? Well, he does because he's WBO interim champion now and Usyk's the champ. He's the undisputed champ. So this fight looks like it's going to be happening. I can't get my head around it, but fair play to him. He gritted his teeth. He came through a tough spot there with Parker and he got the win, so he deserves all the credit. Fabio Wardley, I bow to you, mate. Well done. So that's the Wardley sum up. Fair play to Wardley. What about Joseph Parker? I mean, he was in the fight. He was winning 6-4 on my card, but he got stopped. Let's just say he got stopped. He got hurt, and then he got pummeled with a few shots, and he got stopped. Listen, if he was good enough, he should have fought back. He should have threw some more punches. He should have had to go back. He shouldn't sit on the ropes, tucking up, giving the referee an excuse to stop the fight. But he didn't get beat up, did he? We all know he really probably shouldn't have been stopped. So he can come again. He's young enough. He's having a good late surge in his career. And there's some good fights out there for him. I mean, the fight with Daniel Dubois didn't happen because Dubois got ill. That fight was supposed to happen in Saudi. So maybe chuck him in with Daniel Dubois. It's a great fight for Dubois after he's been beat by Usyk. And it's an opportunity for Joseph Parker to probably redeem himself again a little bit more and stay in the mix. He loves fighting. He didn't complain about the stoppage. He loves the fight game, and he always comes and has a go, doesn't he? So maybe Joseph Parker gets the Daniel Dubois fight. I mean, I'd like to see the rematch with Fabio Wardley, but Fabio's now going to go on and potentially challenge Alexander Usyk, as crazy as that sounds. But yeah, Parker, fair play to him. I think he should still stay in the game. jump in there with Dubois. That's an interesting fight. And see what happens there. Let me know in the comments what you think should happen now with Joseph Parker. But we've got to just pay homage one last time to Fabio Wardley, because he's not done the unthinkable tonight, but what he's done is he's set up an unthinkable match with Alexander Usyk. And if you can go in there and do anything against Usyk, which, listen, all the boxing experts, including myself, are going to think that Fabio Wardley can do anything against Usyk. I mean, there's not going to be many boxing experts or armchair fans that think that Fabio Wardley has got a chance against Alexander Usyk. But has he? I mean, he's certainly opened the door. All he's got to do now is walk through it, and he's got this opportunity to now become the undisputed heavyweight champ. Straight out the white collar, straight out the office, straight into the undisputed champion of the world, potentially. Let me know what you think. But for now, it's just been a crazy night of boxing. It was a great fight, though. I really enjoyed it. I don't often get that excited about heavyweight fights, but that was a good one. Howard Foster's going to get a lot of stick for that stoppage, but listen, this is boxing. He's the guy, let's just say this before I go, he's the guy that stood right next to the fighters, and Joseph Parker wasn't throwing much back. He wasn't getting hit with big, heavy, hurtful shots, but he was hurt the round before, and he did get caught in that round, and he wasn't throwing enough back, so the referee's got a job to do, and it's always safety first. The health of the fighters is the most important thing, and that's what that referee's job is to do, to look after the health and well-being of the fighter, and that's what he did there with Joseph Parker. Right, just before I go, a quick mention on Derek Chisora, the Del Boy, and Dillian Whyte. Listen, these two came together. This will be the third fight. They're talking about fighting again. Is this a fight I want to see? I mean, Chisora wants to fight again. Whyte's not done much. He's sort of still hanging around. He's managing fighters now, but he's got a bit left in the tank. Still got that bit between his teeth. Still wants to make a little bit of Bunsen burner, doesn't he? Same as Chisora. Wants that final payday. So this fight's looking at being made. I mean, the first fight, I was at both fights. I think I was commentating on both of them for Sky Sports. But do I want to see it again? Potentially, yeah, it'd be a good fight, won't it? They both get paid. They both give a lot of time and energy into the box. They've had good boxing careers. I mean, especially Chisora has been around for years, and he wants that extra fight. So you can't begrudge them this fight. Is it something I want to see? I think Chisora probably should have won the first one. Didn't get the decision. Whyte won the second one conclusive. Was it Sweet left up when it knocked out Chisora, flattened him on his back. So that was a fair win, and that kind of ended the argument. But it's 2-0 to Whyte, but really it's kind of 1-1. But I'd say Whyte's the better fighter, the more rounded, more skilled fighter. Do I want to see it again? Yeah, potentially. So let me know what you think. Do you want to see Derek Chisora and Dillian Whyte in the ring for one last time? I don't think it's a headline. I don't think it's a bill-topper myself. Maybe it is. Maybe I've got it wrong. But I've been there, seen it, and done it already, and they're both well past the best. But this is the fight that's being talked about, so we can't just write it off, because at the minute we're just enjoying the boxing, aren't we? We want to see big fights, and whilst we're waiting to see what happens with the heavyweight division, what's Usyk doing? Who's he fighting next? Looks like he's fighting Fabio Wardley next. But is this a fight you want to see? Let me know. So that's it for another episode of Froch on Fighting. Hope you've enjoyed it. Listen, I had to give my reaction to the big heavyweight fight. Fabio Wardley, fair play to him. Give him his credit. Joseph Parker, he'll come again. Howard Foster, leave him alone. Listen, next week I might get David Benavides. I say I might do. I've the names in there. My producer's making moves. The ego as well and truly landed. He's giving it the big one. And also Devon Haney. So watch this space. Hopefully a couple of good interviews next week. Until then, take care and we'll see you very soon.